It is a green day here in the wonderland of crypto. And what really is happening for XRP? This is one of the reasons why we see an increase in positive attitude and the buyers coming in and pushing the price up. And it's XRP and Apple stock going up together. So that's really getting interested when we are looking at the aspects. Now that's a bit old, but now it's getting attention, and that is changing a lot of views. It's kind of highlighting many different aspects. But for those who watched yesterday's video, they would have already understood that there was an opportunity here, highlighted that day. I'll just mute that video and show you guys what we were presenting there. We were actually showing you guys this reversal pattern, which shows that it is a buying opportunity. So who had that opportunity to take up that pump would be in green and having a reduced average for the overall XRP portfolio. And those who didn't actually miss a video in our portfolio from last week, they should be able to buy around the bottom. Now, is it that all? Is that all of it? No. Along with that, Apple news, what else is happening in the market? This is there, right? Which is creating revived interest for buyers in this market. There is a lot of things happening, especially for XRP. Like when we are looking at this cross-border payments and other aspects, we do understand this is happening, and there is a lot happening, especially for XRP. But the problem is not everyone is digesting these properly. And not everyone is informed about these stuff happening in the background, so they are missing out on the giant opportunity which is being presented to them. Now, why we look at all of this, I will actually go through each of different patterns, what we have analyzed, what we are going to check, and what can we expect in the near future, mid-term and long-term. We'll actually go through all of that. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Guys, if you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you would like to extend your support, you can use the PayPal, Patreon or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Now, these are some of the interesting attitudes which I would like to present in this video as we go forward. And it really gets interesting when we look at the fundamental and technical together. Now, this is the chart of Link. It's an XRP channel, but this is something which I posted in my Patreon previously for those guys who are trading that, those guys who have that in their portfolio. When the price were actually getting corrected from that 20 level to most like 7.3, at that time I also presented that in the channel too, right? Showing that this is a support resistance area. If you're buying here, just check that support resistance area. If the price is breaching that towards the downside, that means it may go towards 4 to 5. Instead, if the price is showing a bounce, that means price is respecting this particular area and it's going to go towards the upside. So that was a buying opportunity, like for those who are investing in Link, right? Now we'll actually go through all of these different assets, not just XRP, for the short to medium term in the Patreon. So if you would like to get all of these, you can just look at the Patreon and check if it is for you. You can just check that in the description below. We have a link there. Now guys, let's move on to today's real content. As we jump into all of this stuff which kind of gets our attention, I would also first like to give you guys a real perspective, how to think like an investor. When you are looking at the technicals, fundamentals, sometimes it may actually get confusing. Why we have to look at this, why we have to look at that. There are a lot of things, and there's a lot of misinformation, not just only about XRP, but about trading and investing. Now, yes, I'm not a MBA guy and that stuff, but I've been reading books, going through audiobooks and all related to financial education, trading, investing and all for a long time, at least now around 4 years. And quite honestly, I believe that I've been delivering the same for majority of my viewers here and my friends. So this is a small area which I would like to highlight for you guys. Now, if you are confused about this stuff, please listen to this. Now, we won't be just playing the entire video. We'll only play the area which we want to understand. Why? Because you are an investor in XRP. What you should be understanding, looking at the price of XRP, is something you will get from this one. Now, this is the summary of one of the best books of investing in the world. Now, Warren Buffett himself endorsed this book, right? So, endorsing by Warren Buffett gives a lot of value for this particular book here. Now, that's Intelligent Investor. Now, let's jump into that one.
Every day, a certain bipolar person called Mr. Market comes to your home with an opinion about how much your part of that business is worth. Furthermore, he offers to buy your share or sell you an additional one on that basis. History has shown that Mr. Market's opinion about how much your part of the business is worth can be pure gibberish. For instance, back in March 2000, he estimated the value of your share to be $2,600. Only 1 year later, in March 2001, he thought it was worth $500. Even though the income of the company increased.
Now the key takeaway here is, I'll just mute that for a second, because if we play that, it will take a lot of time. I'll just take you guys through that. What it is saying is, previously for investors, they would buy something based on their analysis, going through that, they study that and they understand that. One thing is sure, value is not the current price, because market is not always efficient. It's not always, mostly not efficient to price that value in. So if you're buying something at that time, you didn't have those kind of internet and all, you had to give that call to take up your stock, take up your position and all. But nowadays we are entering into a different area where we are actually having different options. Whenever you go into the market, meaning whenever you open your mobile phone application, say let it be Binance, let it be eToro, let it be Uphold, whichever exchange you use, you would be getting notifications. You are able to watch the price. So market is offering you different price at different times, say 100 times a day. Maybe if you are looking at that 100 times a day, right? So in that aspect, are you really looking at that price to be in profit? Now that's not the way it usually happens. Now, the key takeaway from this one is, if you are an intelligent investor, what you should be looking at is patience, which is the main thing, and it should be disciplined. Now, when these both come together, you will have a eagerness to learn. Now, that really means you are going to go one way. Now, it have to understand that different guys will state different things. Now, if I'm saying that, you can also ask, what is the legitimacy of what I'm saying? I'm not saying it directly from what I know. I'm sharing you guys from established, reputed investors in this world, right? So these will actually allow you to understand that how this really goes. So as an investor, what you should be looking at is what they are building and what they would be looking at in the future, right? And why I actually take you guys through all of this. If you would like to play this one, it'll actually cool. Go to Intelligent Investor Summary. That's a book. And if you would like to get an audiobook and all, it would be really better, because key thing to understand is the price which is offered by the market is not the value of that asset. And that's when we understand XRP is so high in value, but right now the price is so low. Why we have to actually consider all of those? Because now is the time where you have to be intelligent. Market is giving you different value. Market will be giving you different pumps soon. Now, why I say that, I'll actually go through all of that, representing different values, representing different ideas and patterns within the charts. But the key takeaways are, the fundamental side is now going to pump in a different manner, meaning everyone would be interested to get into this. The world will be like, okay, I want a piece of that one. It looks interesting. And that is where you get the FOMO there, right? So before that FOMO gets in, that's where intelligent investors accumulate. Now, let's actually get into those step by step. This is a chart of length or hour. Okay, so when you actually look at that, you can actually see one thing clearly, right? Just focus here and stay with me. Okay, this is an area where the price went to the upside and it created that distributional pattern. It came, it retested an area sometime, and it broke below that. But the difference from these points and these points are like, after breaking to the downside, it went and retested that area many times before capitulating to the downside. Now that's lend. You can see what really happened there, and now the price is above the all-time high, and the price looks like it's bouncing and creating another signal that it's going to pump from there. Now these are all setups which are being posting in the Patreon group, and majority of them would be taking their profits at some of the areas. Now I'm using this one here to compare it with XRP to give you guys an idea. So when you compare length, you can see that really happened here, and then a rounded bottom, then breach of that neckline of that rounded bottom, and then if you really measure that, it's 236%. And look at the outcome. It broke, then it retested that level, and then went back to the upside around similar 230%. Then came back, found a support, and then moved to the upside. So the trend just changed and got parabolic there. Now look at XRP. We had something similar. We came at a level, we broke below that, we retested that area for some time. You can see that clearly. We retested that area for some time, and then we capitulated. We retested that area, this particular area, for some time, which is around 0.4, 0.5, which is, the huge resistance, overhead resistance area now. But after that, we capitulated, and from that time, we've been moving through a rounded bottom, or we can say the price is acting as creating different levels. Here it was a lower low, whereas here it changed higher low with higher highs and higher highs. That means the trend is changing, or here sellers were in control. From this point, buyers start gaining the control back. Sellers tried to push the price down, but they were not able to do that. Here you can see the wick, right? They pushed the price to the downside, but buyers came in and bought all of those which the sellers dumped into the market. So that means huge buying pressure there, and then you are seeing a rounded bottom and a retest there. Now what are we looking at next? A break to the upside, and then a retest and move to the target. Now it's not always like it would give you a retest, and that's why I go with the breakout first, confirming that it's not a fake out. That's important, because the market can actually fake you out and go back into that trend. So now if you're looking at that, it's like say 117% there. And if you look at the breakout and 117%, that would be taking you towards 0.69, say 0.7, going through all of these overhead resistance. Now, yes, there can be a correction back, retesting this particular level. Now, what are you actually looking at after that? Say from that point to the all-time highs, it's 450%. Now, why that matters? Because after that, it kind of went through the roof towards the overhead resistance of all-time high. Now, we would be expecting that there would be a lot of selling pressure for XRP if you compare it with Lend, because there's a lot of people who are stuck in this price range of say 2.8, 3, 3.2, 3.5. And majority of them would be waiting to take out their money and run away, because they are not well educated as an investor, right? So you can be seeing some kind of fluctuation here, or at least a consolidation or a reaccumulation phase there. Now, if you are waiting for confirmation for all of these and entering in the market afterwards, your profit would be different. Say you are entering here, you get 450%, and the same for a guy who entered at the current level would be getting 1500%. So 15x your money versus 4.5x your money. So that's a huge difference. And then you can understand that the market is pushing to the upside here in Lend, but the stochastic RSI here is showing that it is at the oversold territory in a short term from this area, meaning there is a lot of buying pressure happening in the bottom. When the MACD takes that breather, it can be pumping to the upside. Now, if you look at Ethereum, we created this yesterday, highlighting there is a pattern forming like this, and it would be pumping to the upside soon, right? And then this one for XRP. Now, this is kind of a shorter term view for XRP, 2-hour chart. And in that 2-hour chart, if you look at the price, is making a low here, then again a new low there. But keep that in mind. At the same time, MACD is making higher lows, pointing that there is strength of buyers. And at the same time, if you look at the stochastic RSI at this point, it's at the overbought area, so giving you an idea that there is a divergence in the market. Now, that was on a 2-hour chart. If you zoom a little bit back, get in to a 4-hour, this is what you get. And the answer for this stochastic RSI being at the overbought area is kind of giving there, right? The 4-hour chart kind of shows you that it's at a resistance area, and that's the reason why in 2-hour we are kind of showing a little bit of breathing effect or waiting effect or resting. But if we manage to break above this particular level, then the next overhead resistance would be this green line here, which will be at 0.255, 0.256 area. That's the 200-day moving average on a 4-hour chart. So if you're trading the market or at least watching the market, that would be something you are interested in. Now, this particular area, if you have watched our yesterday's video or a week before that, we were pointing you towards that. Now, I understand some of you guys were saying TA never works on crypto because you don't have history. I don't think you need 100 years of price history to go through that and pick those, because we are not here to accurately pick those things. Instead, we are here to look at the possibility or the odds. If the odds are on our side, what are you doing? You are trading this market or you are investing here. So if you are trading this market, you would be using your stop losses below the previous low or something like that, right? But if you are investing, what you are looking at is to average down or buy at lower cost, because you understand that the value of this asset is much higher than the current price. That's how you make profit. And 2 days, 3 days back, I showed you guys, we are going to show that the MACD is showing you that we may cross to the downside. So don't be negative. Why? I gave you different charts, say from Bitcoin and others in the crypto wonderland itself. While that happens and the price goes to the upside, like, right? That really happens. And I gave you an idea there. In bull run, a markup phase, that always happen. Market show you a negative divergence and sellers enter there and they are kicked out of the market. We get more liquidity when they lose and we pump to the upside. Now that can be simply understood by some of the technical analysis, pattern analysis, trend, the price action analysis itself. And yesterday we clearly showed you guys that it really is happening, and if you want to take that opportunity, you could have taken that opportunity, because in the same video, while we were ending that video and looking at the chart by the same 10-15 minutes, in that 10-15 minute difference, the price was actually pumping to the upside. The candle was kind of closing to the upside of the previous candle, showing that the momentum is too high. Now that was on a daily scale, right? Now on a daily scale, you are getting this. We are moving above the 9 and 20-day moving average, meaning the short-term moving average is being breached to the upside. That's a change in trend. Now, if you look at 3-day chart, you get these. Why are these important? Because this is a signal which I showed you here in a daily chart. If you look at that, you'll clearly understand it's something really similar to that thing, right? It's really similar to that in the term, meaning if you look at this point, you understand that there is a change in trend. And that's what you're getting in the 3-day here. You got a bearish candle, then a correction and a continuation. But here, this support resistance level is being respected and buyers are entering at that level. The price may go up from here. And that is the clarification for this. When you have MACD pointing to the downside, if you're getting this resistance, you would be seeing that the MACD would be bouncing from this positive territory. You see this 0, if it goes down, it's negative. But the MACD, both the lines on 3-day are on positive territory. And that's, kind of a symbol of a bull run. Now, let's just look at the overall altcoin market, for which we'll analyze Ethereum, as always. In Ethereum, we are looking at this as a double bottom. That double bottom would be taking us upside, right? You can see the targets. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, this is what we see. It's not the accurate Adam and Eve pattern here. The Eve comes first. Eve says, Adam, wait, I'm going to go first. And that is what is happening here. And if you look at that, yeah, the target is 12%. But if you look at the overhead resistance as well, you can limit that target to around 9%, 8%, because you have a lot of resistance there. But that's not saying like the price won't breach 12,000. It's saying watch out at that level if you're trading. If you're investing, that doesn't actually make any issue for you. So again, back to that lens chart. Now we are getting that bounce. If you're looking at a link, then you should be looking at this particular area. If the chart is breaching this resistance, it's take this, measure this move and put that here, you would be getting up to 20 or 25 soon for link. Now when the overall market rise like that, expect these in a short to medium term for XRP, reaching that all-time high. And once Bitcoin breaches its all-time highs, I remember it's going to be madness of FOMO here in the crypto wonderland. Now, yes, that's a bit long for that side, right? But if you look at this side, you'll understand what I'm saying. I got a notification from eToro showing XRP pumped 6% and Apple stock went up 3%. At a similar time when this was being reintroduced to the market. Now, Michael sent me this one and a great shout out to him. Interledger, I knew that Interledger was doing huge things, but I actually missed this one, right? But we actually went through different research publications highlighting how these are affecting. We are entering into the CBDC century, and this decade is going to push the area where there is friction in the cross borders and kick them out and take in participants who are doing that perfectly, who are solving that issues. And that's why the interoperability layer of Ripple becomes a star. Now that's Interledger protocol, right? So when you look at the comparison of Interledger protocol, you can understand ILP version 1, version 4, they are improving that every time. And you are getting all of this benefit for the side of transaction cost and handling value, which is exchange of value. Whenever there is an exchange or a movement of value, transfer of value, understand XRP is involved. You really have to understand that one, right? Because it would be connected to XRP ledger for efficiency. Now, when we look at blockchain interoperability, you can argue, yes, Quant is also doing good, so why not Overledger? Why are you pressing so much on the Interledger? Now, I agree, Overledger will also get a chunk of this market, but that doesn't mean it's going to rule majority of this area. Because if we get into, say, the page number 1 itself and go through the stuff which they are actually talking, you can understand they all talk about interoperability, right? Say in page number 2, if you come here, it shows for now the problem is solved with the help of trusted brokers using escrows. Now you understand why escrow is important and why market is pushing that, giving that a negative image, because they don't want you to see the future picture. They don't want you to see that holistic picture. Now, the issue of interoperability is solved in some cases like atomic exchanges, hash locking, blah, blah, blah. However, the question of trustless interoperability in general remains open. Now open your eyes, guys. We are not, blinded by some maxis from others, right? We are here for education. We are here for new knowledge. We are here to increase the ideas which we really have. Why? Because when we come down, they talk about similarly Interledger protocol and explains how it automates blah, blah, blah. And at the bottom, more generally, we consider that interoperability can, for instance, allow money to disappear from A and appear on B without the need of trusted escrows. Meaning now is the time of escrow system to use that, but in future or near future, we are entering into an area where you don't need that. Why? Because you have what? Interledger protocol. This can't even get better now. When the same thing is being highlighted, you have to understand that's a lot. World Economic Forum. Now, don't just go through the first couple of paragraphs and look at this and say it's nothing to do with what we are talking. They are just talking about the infrastructure, the buildings, construction and other stuff. Guys, just scroll down, because at the bottom you can see the economic infrastructure, social infrastructure, natural infrastructure. Okay, I agree. What is thing connecting all of this? Money. If you don't have money, movement of value, the system, the built environment is not created. And that's why we enter digitization. A focus on developing a cyber physical system. In such a system, what do you need? We must recognize digital assets such as data, information, algorithms, digital twins, and genuine assets. Guys, this is way beyond what we can imagine. We are now talking about a 2-digit, 3-digit XRP, but in the future, it won't be like that. Maybe after 10 years, 20 years, your child will ask, Dad, what were you actually doing when that was at that price? Say, for example, I would be asking to someone who has been in the space, when BTC was below $1, what were you actually doing? Did you buy then? Now, if you say someone at that time that BTC is going to go 10,000, 20,000, they will say you are mad. Now, that's similar thing happening with other assets which really have that potential. Now, When you go through this, you can understand they're talking about new assets intervening the system they are getting in, and how it is important for the entire perspective. Say, construction of new assets is important to accommodate population growth and demographic shifts, address the climate change. There's a lot of system happening behind the screen. This need to be addressed. Silos in policy, investment, development, operation, this has to be on an optimal scale and sustainable scale, because they are looking at a sustainable future. So when they talk about the life cycle of your assets and managing those, it really gets smarter in this new technology, with this new technology, and that's how we are realigning this entire market. I'll actually put the link in the description if you would like to go through this, but that gives you a lot of information that there is a lot happening. Now that's on the fundamental side, and this shows, yes, on the technical side, the price side also, something huge is going to happen, because the smart money is moving their positions. Why? And that's when I take you guys back to the monthly chart, because smart money, the long-term investors, look at this. If you watch this area, you can understand this was a previous support. Price came in there. It was bounced back or bought in. And then if you look, this is a support resistance area. Price went through that with one candle. Now it's trying to retest that area before the bounce. Now, to get that into a general easy perspective, we can put it like this one. Say it pumped from that area and then it retested back that support resistance area. Now if this monthly candle handles there or it closes there, now it is 26th of September, we don't have much of time, right? 4 days. If we close there or above, we're going to get a bounce to the upside soon, and that's kind of validating all of the different trends and patterns which we just analyzed in XRP. So guys, that's all for today, and I really believe that you got value. And if you did receive value for your content, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Now, general thing is, if you'd like to open your heart and support the channel, I'm really happy. You can use the PayPal, Patreon, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll be coming up with a huge episode next, and I'll meet you guys for that. Bye.